Week 5, rhythm and routines, morning and evening. Let's talk about it. I know if you're anything like me, you've seen online how people will be like, experts, you know, get your workout in the morning. Get up and get after, otherwise you won't do it. And like, well, that works for some. Guess what? There is not a chance and where that's what I'm going to do. My 20-year-old self, she was up at 4:30 hitting the gym and then could like power through a full day. Well, that was when I had this like robust wellspring of epic hormones. In my 40s, that's different. I love my sleep and I prioritize it. And I give you permission to do the same. So basically what I'm saying is that our needs change through the decades. And again, men and women are different. Men, you might be able to like get up and hit it. More often than not, the women that I work with in my practice sometimes love working out in the morning and they're like, it just sets my day right. Others are like, oh my gosh, if I have to get on my Peloton at 6 a.m. one more time, I'm just going to lose it. So really the focus with like morning and evening routines, whether it's like exercise or food or nervous system regulation, right? All the things that we've been chatting about, personalization is key. What works for you is going to be different than what works for the next person. And guess what? What works for you in the spring months is different than what's going to work for you in summer, fall, and winter. So back to this concept of, especially women, we are very astute to changes and the nuances in our environments. Like we are rhythmical beings and we like literally can feel these seasons change. And our eating routine, our movement routines, our nervous system routines, all of our little routines that we could hold will change depending on the season. So all that just to say, I think it's really mindful, or it's a good idea to be mindful about when you're thinking about when you're going to fit everything in. Prioritize your nervous system. Think about what you need and what you want, not about what people say you should, but like actually in your heart of hearts what you need and want. And don't be surprised if you feel like there's guilt in honoring that, because there's probably going to be. And if you need help in that department, reach out. That's my forte, the shame and guilt with shifting gears and doing what's best for you. But essentially, I think we need to be mindful of not sacrificing sleep for exercise, because those tend to get pitted against each other, right? And again, like we talked about in previous weeks, if we're constantly exercising on very little fuel source, whether it's food, whether our nervous system is in overdrive, if we're exercising on not a lot of sleep, our body didn't get that beautiful opportunity to go into this like very deep repair during sleep. I mean, sleep is like a magical medicine. If there's one panacea, it's like getting really, really solid sleep could really help physical, mental, emotional, energetic pieces of us. I know what you all know what it feels like to get a really good night of sleep, and then what it feels like to not. And so I think being mindful of like, what types of boundaries do need to be set in order to maybe move later in the day, or what types of fuel need to be on board. So that way you're not tired between like 3 and 4 when you actually have the time to exercise. It's a matter of the energy, right? Because how many people have pursued their days and it's like, I have the time, I don't have the energy. So that's many of the women I work with. And there's a way to rebalance that. There's nothing that's missing. And I think that's another key is there's no part of you that's missing. You're not missing anything. It's a matter of uncovering techniques and strategies and nourishment practices that work best for you. So the other thing I was going to say, we talked about this in terms of like the brain boosting nutrition, is like blood sugar management is huge. So, and I've learned this again firsthand, where you want to think about your like basically sleep hygiene. What you do the minute you wake up affects your sleep. So, and I always think about blood sugar management in the morning and in the afternoon and early evening hours. That's going to really help your sleep, because our sleep hormone, melatonin, and our stress hormone, cortisol, they're friends. They like to talk, and they kind of have an equal and opposite reaction. And they do best when we have blood sugars stabilized. And so All that just to say, when you're thinking about your daily rhythms, think about what you want, what you need, and what has to maybe change in order to kind of help get you where you want to go. And think about, if movement is better for you in the morning or the afternoon, probably not too late if you can help it. So yeah, it's totally dependent upon you and what you need and want. So you get to create your own adventure with that. Okay, next week we're going to talk about supplementation. What are the key things? What do you want to know? Stay tuned for next week. Thanks for being with me.